Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my random TBR game. And first I'm going to recap how I did on reading the books in my November random TBR game. And it was not as good as I would hope, but I did my best. So the first thing I was supposed to read is Corpse Mouth by John Langan, a horror short story collection, and I did read this one. And this is actually my favorite read from November, so I'm really glad that I did fit this one in. Not every story was a hit. There were a couple that were just okay, but most of them were really good, and there were a couple that were my absolute favorites. And what they all did have was really good character work and stories, like real life stories mixed in, and then there's a horror element on top of all that. And this is called Corpse Mouth and Other Autobiographies. I know why now, because it truly is autobiographical elements in each story, which there's a part in the back that says story notes that has what is from his real life, and it was really good. The next book I needed to read on my TBR was Darker Than Night by Owl Going Back, and I read this one as well. I fit it in towards the end of the month. It was also for the Dark Hearts book club, and I really liked this story. It seemed like everybody in the book club chat didn't like it as much as I did. Most people gave it 3 stars. It is kind of a familiar story, I would say, with familiar tropes and how things kind of play out. But it's a bit of a haunted house story, except it has these wonderful indigenous aspects to the weirdness that's going on in this house, and that's the part that I really loved. And also I just love creepy houses and those kinds of stories, so I ended up giving it 4 stars. I liked it a lot. Next, I was supposed to read or finish reading Hot and Badgered, which is a shifter romance book, and I did not touch this one, so oops. I was also supposed to listen to Crack Squatch for the Cryptid Readathon, and I didn't get to that one at all. I listened to a lot of audiobooks. I had a lot on my list this month, and I didn't get to that one. Next was Good Omens by Neil Gaiman, and I started it and I ended up DNFing Good Omens. There were some funny parts, and it's an interesting way to do an apocalyptic book, but something about where it was kind of written like nonfiction, like it's the prophecies of this woman, and it's a book about the prophecies of the apocalypse. I was not into this book very much. Okay, the next book I was supposed to read is The Thing in the Woods by Matthew W. Quinn, and I did read that book. It started off a little bit like not my thing, kind of felt YA, but then when the actual monster is introduced and things get very cosmic, and I loved the second half of this book. Then I was supposed to read Rolling in the Deep by Mira Grant, which is the prequel to her mermaid novel, and this one was a lot of fun as well. A lot shorter, so not as much character development. but it still was a lot of fun. Next, I was supposed to read Devolution, and I just did not have time to read Devolution. Man. And I was supposed to read The Sight by, is it Melanie Golding or Megan Golden? I always get those names confused. Melanie Golding, I think. And I've loved her other books I've read, but this one just did not work for me. It was a bit slow, and I was not interested enough to keep going. And then the last book I was supposed to read for my random TBR was The Only One Left by Riley Sager, and I did not have time for that one either. Yeah, I always think I can read so much, and it's just not possible. Oh well. When will I learn? I don't know. So I only actually read 4, I think. 4 out of the 10. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 out of 10. So my punishment number is 6. So I'm going to roll how many books I need to put on my random TBR. Then I will roll a random wheel that will tell me a prompt that I need to fit a book into. And I have to roll a 20-sided dice for each roll of the wheel. And if it is not at least 6, I have to add on another book. So let's see how this is going to work out. Pray for me, people. Okay, so first will be the roll to see how many books. That is a 6 and a 2. I don't know if you could see it, but that's 8 rolls. Here is spin 1. Okay, a review copy fits into my plans perfectly. I am doing the Read What You Own challenge, and I have 13 more review copies to get to before that goal is complete. So I'm happy about this one. And I need to roll a 20-sided die for each spin. So here's roll number 1. It is a 9. Let me make sure it isn't. Wait. Was it 6 or 9? Well, it was a 6 or a 9, which are both high enough for me not to have to add a roll. So for now, we are still at 8 books. Spin 2. Okay, spin 2 is a poetry collection. And I actually have a couple, I think I only have one left. One poetry collection that is a review copy that I need to read, and that is going to fit my goals that I want to accomplish. Ooh, I'm excited. Roll number 2. Is it nat 20, baby? That's right. Definitely high enough. Spin 3. Spin 3 is to read a thriller. I will look through all of my books and see which thriller I'm gonna add. Roll number 3 is 13, higher than 6. Spin 4. Okay, a tome. That shouldn't be hard to pick. I have a bunch of tomes that I was kind of thinking about for DNF December. Books that I started reading, but they were too huge to finish for my TBR. Okay, so tome. Doing better than any of my other games so far. 3 rolls and none of them have been below my target. This is good. That is a 6, which is exactly high enough. Spin 5. Ooh, nonfiction. I don't read nonfiction very much, but I put it on here to get me reading a bit more of it. So that's exciting. And my 20-sided die roll is 15. The streak continues. I am usually not this lucky with this game. Spin number 6. A 40 before 40, another goal that is for my Read What You Own challenge. Pretty much all of these are fitting my Read What You Own challenge, which is wonderful. Oh, thank you, Picker Wheel. You really are helping me out here. I think there's only a couple I'll have to add. And my 20-sided die roll, 15. 15 again. Here's spin 7. Whoa, another poetry collection? Well, poetry collections are short and sweet and a good counterbalance to the tome I got in there. I'm hoping to finish more than one tome, so maybe that'll be nice. Okay, and the roll is 16. Oh my gosh. You guys, I only have one more roll. Spin 8. What? Okay, now 2 nonfictions. Okay, now we're starting to add on some extra hard to my TBR. I'm not sure 2 nonfictions fits into what I'm trying to accomplish at the end of the year, but I also have wanted to read more nonfiction, so we're gonna do it. One more spin and roll, and I might actually stick to the number I rolled and not have to add any punishment books. This is amazing. And this was the highest punishment number I've had. Usually I have to add like 5 books. This is exciting. Okay, here we go. If this is above a 6, I have no punishments. It is a 9. Ooh, 9. And that is it, people. 8 books. I will be back in a flash of the eye to show you which books that I chose for these rolls. Okay, so I'm back and I picked the books I'm going to use for each of the prompts that I got from my spinner wheel, and the first prompt was a review copy, and I picked the one that I'm most excited to read, and that is Mr. Lullaby by J.H. Marquardt. And this is the author of The Nightmare Man, and I really like that one. This man's books, he writes horror books and the things start coming to life. Very cool. So it sounds like Mr. Lullaby could have something to do with dreams and nightmares as well. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm looking forward to that one. My first poetry collection is Beautiful Malady by Ennis Rook Bash, and this is an arc that I need to read. It's going to fit for my Read What You Own challenge and getting all those arcs read. And this is a poetry collection from a LGBT and disabled person. So a lot of the poetry kind of revolves around that. I think has a lot to do with disability. Next, I added a thriller. The books that I needed to add to the ones I already had chosen for the month are going to be audiobooks, because I don't have any audiobooks to read this month. And the thriller I'm going to listen to is All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. I have loved S.A. Cosby's books, and this is his newest. It involves a school shooting, I think, and possibly religion. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Next was A Tome, and this is going to fit for my Read What You Own challenge to finish books I've already started. I want to read Les Miserables in December. Now you can see why I needed to add some audiobooks, because that is a chunky tome. A tome only has to be 500 pages, and this one is over 1,400. And I've only read 100 pages. So 1,300 pages to go. But I'm really liking it so far. Hopefully it stays entertaining the whole way through. Next was a nonfiction. I'm going to listen to Cursed Objects, Strange but True Stories of the World's Most Infamous Items. And this is by J.W. Walker, who wrote 12 Nights at Rotterhouse and some middle grade horror books as well. He's also written some nonfiction, and this is one of them, and I want to read about cursed objects. That's the kind of nonfiction that tickles my fancy, I guess. Next was to choose a book from my 40 Before 40 list, and Gone Before Wind by Margaret Mitchell was on my 40 Before 40 list. I'm, 25% through, so I'd like to finish this one in December. Getting those goals, climbing towards that Read What You Own challenge. I like this very much. Next was to read another poetry collection, and this is an arc as well, but it's one I've started already, but I need to finish it in December, and that's Under Her Eye, which is an anthology of poetry by women horror writers. And this is a collection all about domestic problems for women. So there's a lot of it tackles some hard topics like abuse. So far I'm thinking it's a little bit too many poems on the same subject of domestic violence, but I think it is an important subject to bring to light and to hear people's stories. And the last one is another nonfiction. So I'll be listening to The Man from the Train, the solving of a century-old serial killer mystery by Bill James. And that sounds fascinating. How did they solve a serial killer mystery that happened 100 years ago? I want to find out. So those are the books I chose for my random TBR game. Let me know what you think of this TBR in my game, and I'll be back very soon with another book-related video. Thanks. Bye.